So if you watched yesterday's video, which I have one like, I have one like on the video, so someone had to have watched it. You know that I had said, "Oh, I probably should have gone to the library yesterday," and it was today. Today, yeah, I shook on yesterday. The book didn't come in, and the same books that were in yesterday were in today. No new ones, which really pissed me off. But you know, whatever. All right. Into it. First one up is Green Arrow Volume 3. Now, I was out all day, and we went to the library in the afternoon, so I had some time to read them in between what I was doing. We get ready for a yard sale tomorrow. So in between that, I had time to read. No. So some of these I did actually read like one issue of. And Green Arrow so far is back to what I didn't like about Volume 1. So that's great. But still, I can ignore stuff like that. But sticks out. Still sticks out. Oh yeah, duh. I was like, wait, I got 2 Rebirth books? I thought it was only Green Arrow. This one again. I read this before. I just remember nothing about this one. You know, it was one of those things that I need to refresh my memory about a book like this. If I had nothing to say about a book like that, then that means I didn't technically read it. I did, but I didn't really pay attention, I guess. Plutona. So this is one that I only got because it was Jeff Lemire. So far, it's good. I only read 1 issue of it, but I got a pretty low rating on Goodreads, which I'm starting not to trust as much. This is the Son of Shaolin. I really only got it because it was Image, because I'm on an Image kick, because all the 41 comics I got last month were all from Image, so I'm like, oh, Image, yeah. But this one, I found out the hard way is the original graphic novel, which means I'll have to read all of it in one sitting. It's my OCD-ness, kind of. I would say I have OCD. Like, I think about it, what actually factors as OCD. I think this is part of it, where unless it says collecting issues 1 through 5, I can find where 1 issue ends or when the next issue starts, so I know where the 1 issue ends. I'm like, I hate that, you know. I almost didn't buy it. I almost didn't take this book out of the library because of that reason. That's how weird I am about that. This one was a reread, Sleepless Volume 1 and Volume 2, which is actually only a 2-volume series. That's what I had, obviously. So far, it's much better than I remember it being. And this series, because I got in the original Greg Rucka run of Wonder Woman on the Kindle, I point to this, that's where I have the Kindle, I have the app on the iPad. I wanted to reread his Rebirth run. Because I remember really liking that. That was the only reason why I ever was interested in his original run on Wonder Woman. Did I grab all 3? I'm trying to panic. Alright, go through them. Yeah. It's just that, the stack isn't as much as it usually is. Which is great, because even then I could have gone yesterday. Great. Just gotta rip it. This next book is a thick one, and it was the only reason that I was like, yeah, this is gonna be plus this one, plus that one, that's gonna be a huge stack. This is Paper Girls, the complete story. The whole story, obviously. I loved this series. It's another Brian K. Vaughan book that he knocked out of the park. And, I want to read it all at once, because I don't trust my library to still say, oh yeah, we have this one. You got it before, so obviously you should have that. I don't trust that, because Future's End still isn't showing up. I don't know why. Wonder Twins, Volume 1. It's Mark Russell. He wrote that Flintstones run I really liked. And I was like, okay, pick that one up. Of course, he did a Fantastic Four Life Story, which I didn't get back then because I thought it would be, oof. Oh, no, is that the way that the book looks, or is it just the, that's what they say about the Image. Cover is bent and stained inside. Oof, okay. Take that out, just in case it has any personal info. The pretty thin one, this is Superman Godfall. Looks pretty interesting, and I already forget what it was about, but it was one of those books that I was looking it up to see like what issues it collected, because I was making sure it didn't collect 775 of Action Comics, which it probably should be beforehand, because that's Joe Kelly's run, and Action Comics 775 is like his most critically acclaimed issue. I wouldn't have minded if it had that in there. I just didn't want to have it after it. I'm still gonna feel like I need to read that one. Ms. Marvel, Volume 2 of the newest run, Storm Ranger. And you'll see how I felt about Volume 1. It kind of, sometimes you can tell, but this one you kind of can't. I'll get back into that. I'll get into that once I go through these. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, Volume 2. I fucking hate this. That is come on. Like, you're trying to get people into the book, and you're already doing the cringy titles. Yeah, that's just, no. I like that. Spoilers, that was a huge surprise for me. The Old Guard Book 2, Force Multiplied. Some of you were wondering how I felt about that in Monstress. I'll be getting into that in a second here. Oh yeah, we're gonna do timestamps. I don't have time to do that. I might, I don't know. Black Widow, the Finely Woven Thread. Another reread, but this one I just didn't remember a whole lot out from. I was like, hey, I want to read that one again. This one, I think, even though it's written by Robert Kirkman, who wrote The Walking Dead, it's a kid's book, I think. This is Super Dinosaur, Volume 1. Let's look at the artwork. It's already in a shorter size. Yeah, size. And it doesn't look too bad with the artwork. Sometimes for the kiddie books, they do like the worst artwork because it's a kiddie book. And they want to make it obvious to anybody that it's a kiddie book. Captain America and the Falcon Secret Empire. And finally, Batman Gothic. Pretty, kind of a short stack. I mean, still a lot of books. It's not like it's the shortest stack it's been in a long time. No, it's just a short stacker. Short stacker. It's just a shorter stack than usual. But not, again, not the lowest. I think it was just like a few books short. I didn't get any mangoes this time. And again, we'll be seeing why. I still like mangoes, but... Alright, now where is my phone? The most important thing, and I don't have it. Okay, so while I'm looking for my phone, Monstress was a big surprise, and I already want to get the entire series. It's an ongoing, so... Are you serious? Did I leave it downstairs? Oh, do not tell me what's in the car. I have to go out there. This is why I need to... No, right there. This is why I need to edit my videos. I really need to get into the habit of doing that. I can't be so damn lazy. It's laziness. I'm sorry. It's not the same. I'm apologizing to myself, I guess. But it's laziness. No beating around the bush here. I just don't want to go through all... And it's kind of like going through all the trouble and not getting any views. Like, would I get the same amount of views? You know? I just want to make it worth it. And I mean, like, if you guys comment on it, then make it worth it. Like, two of you guys comment, make it worth it. Just in general, it does that. That's what I want. I don't know why I'm saying it so weird. But yeah, Monstress, big surprise. Because the longest time I had read it, and I never fell in love with it. The first time I did like the first 2 volumes. I read part of the 3rd volume. And I didn't really like it. I think it was just too much. I was like, on it. Like, every week it was Monstress. The second time I read it, I couldn't get past issue 1. Because issue 1's like 70 plus pages. It's a long issue 1. I do not know why they made that issue 1 so long. It does make the $9.99 price on the volume 1 look really nice, and they already have 6 issues, and issue 1's already 70 pages, I'm going to say it that way. So, that's a plus. But yeah, the third time's a charm. I really liked it, and I don't think the 4th time, 5th time, honestly. Maybe probably gave that as many tries as I did for low, or attempts. No, I don't know. Anyways, that was good. All you can say. Old Guard was also good. But the reason why I didn't get Volume 3 again was because I'm just gonna wait till Volume 7 comes out in September and probably get all what's available for Monstress Christmas time. So I'll get the 2 hardcovers and then Volume 7. So that's why. I'm like the hell with that. Because I don't want to get 6 volumes. No, actually, Newberry's having their sale, so I might just do it then. But I don't know how many issues we're up to now. We're already up to issue 40, and there's 41 issues, or issues, I think it's like 39 to 41 in Volume 7. I'm not going to get all those issues myself. It's a lot of money added to what I already have to get for weekly books. That's part of it. And I'm already doing that for Deadly Class, too, waiting till the last volume comes out for Deadly Class. Because that I know is the last volume. I'm just gonna get all those at Christmas time too. What was else? What was it? Okay, Jujutsu. I'm gonna do all the mangas together. Jujutsu, Darker Than Black, Titan. Oh, what is it? Not Punch. Attack on Titan, and then One Punch Man. So the best one out of the bunch was Darker Than Black. I really like that series, but with all the mangas, I just can't follow it. I don't know if it's because I daydream too often. Maybe the artwork is kind of hard to follow because it's all in black and white, and I don't know if it's my vision issues, but everything blends together for me. Like when it's in color, I can say, "Oh, that's a blue right there. It's green. That's yellow. Okay, so I know who that guy is. That's that." But when it's in black and white, I'm like, what?" It's playing for everybody, honestly. I don't know if it's that or just I daydream too much, and I'm like a daydream past an important plot point, or I don't know. And maybe it's the characters too, because they all look the same because it's black and white. Okay, I'm being racist. You guys hopefully know what I'm saying. Jujutsu was also good. One Punch Man, good. Attack on Titan got to be a pain because it was 50 pages per chapter. And it felt really long. And it's the mangas in general, I don't know what it is, but I just can't get into them. I'm not like, oh my god, guys, manga is the best. Manga is beating out, which it is, Western comics. And I'll give it that. There is a good reason for why it's beating out Batman and other books like that. Popular characters like that should be making millions. But, they aren't. But manga is following the rules that they should be, while Western is breaking every rule in the worst way. I get that part, I'll give manga that win. But I'm probably never gonna buy a manga myself, honestly. Okay, Marvel Rising was... okay, so I'm gonna do all these together. Squirrel Girl was absolutely atrocious. And I only got in that because of Marvel Rising, because I liked the first issue. Come to find out that what I got was a sequel. And thankfully, I wasn't too confused. They would say, oh, this happened in the first Marvel Rising story. So already it wasn't by Devin Grayson, which would have written the freebie that I had gotten. That's why I should have known, honestly. But the sequel series was just as good as that first issue. I mean, it's kind of kiddie, kid-friendly, but I liked it. It's harmless fun. There was nothing in it that was like, we hate our readers, we hate this person, we hate that person, we hate this person that has this political view. No, it was just a fun story that had a few cringy elements and did kind of have that thing they do where they like, this person's the bestest ever. They had that in it. But other than that, I mean, they're just very, 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 very small. Like, you could literally skim over it and you wouldn't have known the difference. One little part in the whole entire book was like that. When they would say, this person's the bestest ever, But Ms. Marvel Volume 1, it was really weird. It felt more like a Thor story than a Ms. Marvel story. It really threw me off, and I honestly didn't like it as much as I did the other Ms. Marvel books, which is a lot more than I should. I do like the Ms. Marvel books, especially all I've read, the G. Willow Wilson run. I'm sorry, but I love it. Not enough to buy it myself, though. Even if my library didn't have the rest of that run, which I should, because I got them all no matter what, no problem. Squirrel Girl was just atrocious. Everything about that book I hated. The artwork was awful. The jokes were awful. The characters were awful. The villains were stupid. And not in a good way. Everything was just bad and dull and boring and terrible and unfunny. And everything that's wrong with comics is in that book. It's like the wine aunts. It's a perfect way to describe Squirrel Girl. It is made for wine aunts. They're like minion memes. And I think that's the peak of comedy. And like, oh yeah, I read the comic books now. And you're like, oh yeah, I've been reading Batman. It's a New 52 run that's out right now. Or they read about that when the Squirrel Girl, it was 2014, so it was still New 52. There was this good series called Saga. That's pretty good. And this and that. And then your aunt says, no, Squirrel Girl. And you're like, oh, that book that's been in the 1 cent bin for the last 5 years and no one's picked up, that Squirrel Girl? Like, it's terrible. I don't understand why anyone would like this, honestly. Some of them I can understand. Like, Ms. Marvel, I can understand why people like that. Squirrel Girl, I can't. Like, you like bad jokes and stupid, dull shit. And you wonder why Marvel. And actually, I found this out when I was watching a review of Ms. Marvel. They were gonna have a Squirrel Girl TV show, but they didn't. That's Marvel saying no. Kevin Feige probably said no. That shows you just how bad that comic is. And I will never, ever pick that up. I'm never going to go back to that series, give it a second chance or a third chance at this point. Never. And I hate that my library wastes space by putting all, I think it was like 5 volumes there. Like, that's 5 volumes too much. Actually 6, I think, because I don't think it's, no. I think this is 4, including, 5 including the stupid original graphic novel. Yeah, atrocious. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur was a huge surprise. I loved the hell out of this book. It was cute. It was actually kind of funny at times. It was interesting. The characters were kind of well established. I mean, I will give it that. I can't remember a whole lot about the characters besides Moon Girl likes science. And there's a few things. There's one thing I didn't like about this book, and that has to do with her parents. Her parents are really weird about, like, it's like, I don't think normal parents would act like this. So there was a part in the book, mild spoilers, where something happens and her parents are like, okay, we want you to be on crime, not on crime watch, on, like, you know, tracking you, like that kind of thing, right? You're only going to school and back home, and we'll walk home with you. And then something happens that she can't control. The thing before she could, but something happens that she can't really control at all. And they're still mad at her, like, that's common. Anybody with a brain would say, oh, that wasn't your fault. And they blame her. I don't know if they're going for a thing like, you shouldn't listen to authority, kids rule. I don't know if they're going for that, but it was really weird. But, and that's just a nitpick. That doesn't have anything to do with my criticisms. It was just something I found really weird in the book. But other than that, this is a damn good book. I actually do recommend it. For the youngins, obviously. And any of you guys like that kind of book. What was the X-Men one I got? Oh my god, it's been a long time. It was the, was it? Yes, it was. It was the, yeah? I'm trying to remember. Because I do it by, when my nephew was over. He comes over every other weekend. And I can't say that it was that long. Did I not go one week? No, I think it was X-Men Volume 2, the Cullen Bunn run. The first volume I loved, second volume I hated, and it was like a huge drop-off, because the first volume was like surprisingly good, and it was like, wow, this is actually interesting, it isn't too convoluted. And then Volume 2, it's part of an event, so it probably had something to do with it. And I was like, oh, so this is why they didn't have Volume 3, because I've been told that the reason why they won't have the full run of a series is because no one wanted to read it. For libraries, at least. But they had a lot of Squirrel Girl, which that makes me mad. Because even that X-Men one was better than Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl was the worst thing I've read in a long time. Like 1 out of 10. It was 0 if I could. You know what? 0 out of 10. But X-Men was just boring. Mediocre. Nothing about it I even remember, honestly. It did not feel like a Cullen Bunn book. It felt like what people criticize Bendis's run. Like why no one likes Bendis's run, which I like his run. That's what Cullen Bunn brought to the table. Like if that one was written by Bendis and it was the first Bendis X-Men book I'd read, I would have understood it. But no, the all new X-Men that's what I read. The all new X-Men by Bendis was awesome. I love that. Beauty, surprisingly good. Like the first time I read 1 issue and I hated it. But this time around, I was like, I actually want to get the rest of the series now. I want to buy it all. I might. They're not gonna have it anyway. It'd be awesome if they had them all in the bargain bin. Honestly, it kind of is a bargain bin book. The only thing I didn't like was the characters. Like I couldn't tell you a single thing about the characters, or except for one thing when they had lesbian couple. That's all I could tell you. I didn't know like their names, what they like their attitudes, like their personalities. That was the only thing. It was just the fact that the story was pretty interesting. And that the characters were likable enough to you didn't hate them, you know, and they were interesting enough. But I couldn't tell them apart unless that's a lesbian couple, that's a girl, that's a boy. The end, you know. But still good. If that's gonna turn you off in the book, then so be it. Monstress I already talked about. Wicked and the Divine. You guys didn't see that one because they didn't have it, and I'm pissed. I love Wicked and the Divine. The artwork is so damn good. I love that artwork. It's colorful, it's vibrant, it's an SJW comic, but a good one. It's very interesting, and I might just buy the whole entire run. No, I'm not gonna do that. I have way too many comics to get to buy something they have in the library for free. Valiant was boring as sin. 7 Soldiers of Victory, Volume 4, was... Yes, I know it was X-Men. 7 Soldiers of Victory, Volume 4. It was okay. I mean, it wasn't like a crowd pleaser. It wasn't like a crowd pleaser. It wasn't one that I'd go back to. It was definitely the weakest. I liked the first 3 volumes, but this one was the weakest. This one reminded me of why I initially dropped the title. I didn't like issue 1. Issue 1 of the entire series, it's still kind of... It's actually issue 0. It's kind of muddled. And this one was kind of muddled, too. It was alright. Green Arrow Volume 2. Oh, so something about Green Arrow Volume 3. I might not have gotten it, but it was a surprise I actually found it. Actually, it never said it. This item has been received by your library. It still says on their site. Library staff may try and get it for you. It's really weird. Makes me wonder if that's going to happen with the other books, but I doubt it. But Green Arrow Volume 2 was good because it didn't have what I hated about the book. I hated about Volume 1. It was still just alright. You know, it's not like amazing or anything like that. It's not a crowd... It's not like a crowd pleaser. It's not like the Diamond in the Rough or Green Arrow stories. I wouldn't even count it as one of the favorites. I haven't even read a whole lot of Green Arrow. I wish they would come out with like an omnibus of Chuck Dixon's run, now that we're done with Mike Grail's run. Or go in order. Do like Chuck Dixon, whoever... Because someone else wrote it after Mike Grail, but before Chuck Dixon. So collect that and Chuck Dixon's run. I'll be happy. But Benjamin Percy's run is just alright. There's some things that I hate, but I can look over. But other than that, there's also things that just make the book kind of tedious, you know? And I feel like the book is all over the place, too. Like, I read Volume 3 very soon after Volume 2. Volume 2 I read a long time after Volume 1, because I gave Green Arrow Rebirth a huge break, because I was like, I don't get that. Then I had a renewed interest. I was like, I'll give it a second chance. Read Volume 2, and it's like, oh yeah, where are we? And then Volume 3 I read, and it was like, almost a full issue of. And I was like, where are we? So there was that. Fables... I wish they would come out. I wouldn't mind if they did this. If they did a compendium, or an omnibus, whatever the hell, that was just all of the stuff happening with Snow White and Bigby. Those are the only, and their kids, of course. Those are the only in Rose Red, and all that family. Those are the only characters I give a shit about. Everyone else, I'm like, I don't care. Go back to Snow. Go back to Snow. Why are we doing this? Like, you can do this. Go issues 1 through 50. Snow. 51 through 100. These persons. But no, they have to keep going like, oh no, we're here. Now we're here. Now we're here. And it's like, why? Preacher didn't do... Imagine if Preacher, they focused on Artspace for 50 issues, and then Jesse Custer, and it was like split up, like issue 1, Jesse Custer, issue 2, Artspace, like entire issue. I know they had a one-shot with Artspace. I mean, like, issues 2 through 17 were Artspace. You didn't see Jesse Custer at all. And then issue 18 to 21 was Jesse Custer. That's what Fables is. I hate that. Why do you guys do that? That's stupid. Have a spin-off. I don't care. Have a spin-off. You don't need to do this. They already have a spin-off for Jack of Fables. Telling me they didn't need to do it. Telling me they never thought to do a spin-off for other characters. Yeah, I understand. They didn't have enough money. Like, Vertigo can't give Bill Willingham 50,000 Fable stories, spin-offs, plus some ongoing, regular series, plus all these other Vertigos from all different authors. But do something. Like, who cares with these other characters? And it's just, like, so annoying because I only care about these characters. Everyone else makes the book boring. I try to get into it. I try to give it a chance. I try to be like, alright, you know what? Try and get to, like, these characters. I kind of like what's going on with Pinocchio last volume. Before I read this one, I think it was volume 6 of the, no, it's volume 5, I don't know, of the deluxe editions. But other than that, it was just, I don't care. The last 2 issues I liked, that were actually focused on Snow White and Bigby. Everything else was just boring. And I'm probably going to drop the series as a whole. I didn't get this time around. I'm probably going to have a break like with Mangos. Nameless was pretty good, very confusing. I feel like it's good, but it's also kind of boring bad, like boring confusing, but it also gets to good confusing, where it's just like so much just being thrown at the wall, and it's, again, along for the ride. I will never be able to explain what it is. I like about some Grant Morrison books, but I hate about other Grant Morrison books. Like, I already want to read The Filth again. I just read that one. Tokyo Ghost was pretty good. It kind of had the opposite. Actually, it's the opposite feeling of how I liked it the first time. I loved it the first time, but every time I'd read it, I'd be like, oh yeah, Tokyo Ghost next. But that's because I hated the first issue. And then after that, it was really good for me last time. This time around, it was still good, but I felt like could have been a little bit better. But every time it came up, I was like, yeah, Tokyo Ghost. I think that had to do with getting so many Rick Remender books for my birthday. And finally, Sin City. That's the one I was waiting on. It didn't come in. It'll probably come in tomorrow. It didn't, but Sin City Volume 2 was so damn good. And now I think I'm gonna do, because it's really weird. I don't know what the scoop is. I want to say it's just like, because it's the box set, it takes a lot longer for them to realize, okay, it's this one he wants, I gotta put this here, and I gotta go through this. It's probably a few extra steps, plus the library is probably far, far away. And it's one of those things where they can only go there on Thursdays or whatever, or Tuesdays. I just missed it. They just shipped. I mean, it shipped the day that they were going to that, and it was too late, you know. I don't know what it is, but I gotta wait. But that, as they say, is that. I should not be stealing that quote, that catchphrase from Omar. But that is it. No comic haul this week. Hopefully next week. Keep my fingers crossed. In yard sale. Hopefully make at least a good amount of money, you know. That is it.